Well, hello there, everybody. My name is Jim. That guy over there is Joe. Take it away, Joe.
It's Joe Lavabera, Stillwater, New Jersey, and Jim Baldini over in uh,
Sandyston.
Sandyston. That's
Yep.
right. And I got to say, tonight you have a special one. This is some special analysis. So, the whole time you're in Republican circles in New Jersey, this is what you hear. This is the word on the wind that the Democrats in certain areas are these monstrous leviathans that cannot be beat. And the insurmountable power of their machine is just impossible to ever
Yep.
affect. And what we're watching with Republican politics in recent decade is a complete fear, almost a gutless, cowardly fear of entering these areas. It's almost like we in the first Battle of Fallujah when General Sanchez decides not to attack and Mattis goes, "Sir, I'm going to tell you what Napoleon said at the Battle of Vienna. If you're going to take Vienna, then take Vienna." And they had this fear of going into Democrat areas. But we have just looked at a belly of the beast, the boogeyman himself, Legislative District 4. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is Camden, which has been on documentaries as some of the most crime-ridden and disastrous drug-ridden places in the nation. This is an area that is historically a powerful Democrat stronghold, an area where the Democrat registered voters lead the Republicans by double digits. And what we found,
Joe, let me show it on the map. You want to show them where
yeah,
on the
show it on
map?
the map. Show it on the map.
So
What
here's
we
the
have
map.
found, yeah, there it is. There's New Jersey. You're looking at the Delaware River coming down on the left side, which would be the west. And then right there in that little pocket, in the little valley coming off the tributaries of the Delaware is boom, CD4.
Right there.
Yeah, CD4. That's it.
Just north there, and west is Camden, right up here,
Mhm.
and then a little bit further north is Trenton. In
Yeah,
this,
the capital of the state,
yep.
the,
So
the
that's
center of the
that's where
Democrat power in New Jersey.
right across from Philadelphia.
Within just under 3%, the Republicans almost took this race. Now, I'm not
Yep.
talking the lead and difference. I'm talking of total votes. Of
Joe,
total votes.
I'm going to show that right here.
Yep, show the numbers. And
Pretty
we got
hard.
the data to prove it. We got the data to back this up, and we got the charts to back this up.
Just
So,
to describe this chart, Joe, the Senate race,
uh,
3.53% is the difference between Republican and Democrat
compared to
for
total votes on the table, if you look at
yes.
all the votes that are on the table, this is how close they came. We're not talking about the lead in votes cast. Total votes that are on the table. From now, the key here you got to understand, and we're going to go into detail on this, is that the Republicans were unfunded.
Yeah.
They were unfunded practically, almost nothing. Wait until you see what the Dems have so much money, they didn't even spend it all.
Yeah, 21,000 versus 812,000 for combined total of the Democrats versus Republicans.
Yeah.
And that's the
Got almost
level
a
of
million. The
difference that we're
Republicans just had a few thousand.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the percentage of votes so close, the numbers of votes so close. In fact, to give those numbers out now, Joe, the actual number difference between the Senate and the Assembly. Senate was 6,184, which is a high number, but the Assembly, the closest Assembly for the Republicans and the lowest Democrat was 3,158
Mm-hmm.
in a district of 38,000 voting. That's a close race.
For an unfunded group, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
For an
that's 38,000 that voted.
yeah.
There
And
is
and,
a lot of
and
voters in this district.
and to show that, there's
Bang.
your Democrat, Republican, and unaffiliated.
So this
To,
is registered voters. So close
yep.
to 80,000 people in this district registered Democrat.
Yep.
Close to 40,000 registered Republicans. So the Democrats crushed the Republicans and registered voters.
Joe, let me correct you. It's 38,000 registered. It's not 40. It's 38,000 registered.
Did I say close to 40? All right, 38.
You did say close. I just want to make sure it's 38 because
okay.
40 is a bigger number.
That's right. So 38,000 Republicans and then a little over 60,000 unaffiliateds.
Yes.
Yeah, we're the Republicans are not strong in terms of registration in this district.
No.
And then we have the 2021 election where unfunded underdog Republicans kick ass. Wait till you see it.
Yeah, and to be clear, all our data is open sourced.
Mm-hmm.
This is data that we've been able to get and gather, and
Mm-hmm.
this is our numbers. We've put them together. Joe and I are solely responsible for this information, and
But
this
all
is
the
what.
credit goes to God.
Oh, and God, there we go. But through the instrument of our fingers.
Mm-hmm.
All
But no,
right,
it's
so
all open source info that comes from the
yeah,
municipalities and the counties themselves. This is all open source, open requested. None of this is fabricated. None of this is imagined. None of this is subjective. These are hard numbers, and this is just hard math being done.
and official data. This is official
Mhm.
data that's not, as you pointed out. I want to make sure people understand it's official data that
Mhm.
we were able to obtain,
Yeah,
not stuff we've just assumed to make.
yeah. This didn't
Um,
come off Wikipedia.
yeah, no, this did not.
Oh, cool.
Came from state resources
Mhm.
and county resources.
Yes. All right.
All right, so let's dive into the numbers, Joe, shall we?
Go. Let's go.
Here is the chart, and you
All
can
right. Now
see.
go into the lower right hand corner and hit that little box to expand your screen. Some people say, I can't read the numbers because you're looking at a little box on YouTube. Go into that right hand corner, hit that box, and expand your screen.
And there you go. This is the race.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the 2021.
Mm-hmm.
These are the numbers we just told you about here on the left per
Broken
town,
down by
broken down.
town. Broken
Yep.
down by town, column A. All right.
Yep.
Mhm,
And then over here, we have the Senate race,
mhm,
Madden and Pacradoni. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize.
mhm.
Um, Moriarty and Muscara. Again, if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize.
Those are the
And
Dems
then,
running for assembly.
yep, they're the Dems.
Moriarty and Mascara. Yep.
And Gonzalez and Klein are the Republicans, as noted by the red and blue colors.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep that consistent throughout our analysis. And you can see down here at the totals, the numbers are legit. We have very close. It's a very, very close race. And then let's look at the numbers, shall we, Joe?
Yep.
Here are um, the numbers and the cost per vote. Let me pull that up, Joe.
This is their camp. This is the financial report. This is what they paid for their campaigns for the primary
First,
and general.
first we'll do the primary general
Mm-hmm.
document. There
Use
you
the
can
chart
see.
to tell the story.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at where are the high marks on this bar chart. They are all over the D's. They're all over the D's. They're I mean, it's incredibly high
Mm-hmm.
for these. And again, if you look at the Republicans, Klein didn't even have a dime. Didn't even there's no record of anything being spent by Klein. Gonzalez spent a few thousand, in fact, 3,275, and Paca Rodoni spent $18,061.32.
That's all the Republicans spent. So basically, a little
Yes.
over $20,000 combined for all the
Yep.
Republicans. Uh-huh.
Yep. And if
Now,
you look at
oh my God,
the
look what the Democrats spent,
yeah,
and still they
Democrats.
barely win.
Yeah, Joe, they spent so much that Madden was able to transfer 100 grand, 99,000, to the next election. So they have 99,000 sitting in their bank account for the 2023 election, which is this year. So that's still a lot of money. I do want to pull up, Joe, the cost per vote.
Mm-hmm.
This is the cost per vote. Now, the cost per vote for Madden, $3.50. For Moriarty, $3.90. For Mascara, $3.08. You ready for the Republicans, Joe?
Yeah, it's sad. It's
57.
incredible. You talk about bang for your buck. I
Yeah.
mean, look, Denise Gonzalez spent less than $1 per vote, and she got almost got enough votes to
Denise Denise Gonzalez spent 10 cents per vote. 10
win.
cents per vote. Paccarodoni spent 57 cents, and because Klein has no record of any money, and we're assuming it's because she really didn't spend any money, she has zero per vote, and that's the harsh reality. You can see it on the chart. This is a dominating money race for
Mm-hmm.
the Democrats. There's simply There's no other way to look at it.
But
Joe,
with
I know.
all that money spent on media, messaging, and their boondoggles and them paying themselves, because these Democrats, as we've learned, get very
Mhm.
rich and make a lot of money on their elections. Of
Yeah,
all that money spent, you would think that the GOP got no votes on this. You would think that they would just get blown out of the water.
which is why we call it the example when we say,
Uh-huh.
what's the boogeyman race? This is it. This is
Is
the
it?
boogeyman race
This is
because
taking on
there's
the
no.
the boogeyman. Denise
Yeah,
and Klein took on Gonzalez and Klein took on the boogeyman. Yeah.
yeah. There's no other way. This has got Camden County in it. This
Hmm.
should be a grand slam
I know.
for the Democrats.
Yeah, it should
It
be.
should be 30,000 to 8,000 votes,
Hmm.
but it's not.
Hmm.
And Joe, I'll just pull this back up. This is a very telling chart. This is a
Yeah.
very telling chart
Hmm.
about the candidates too, because in
Hmm.
order for these Republican candidates to do so well, that tells you they connect it with the communities. They
I wish I could know how many. There's no way to find out. There's no way to find out officially, but
no,
I wish I could find out and know how many Democrats switch their votes to Republican for this election. They'll stay registered Democrat, but they will vote Republican.
they vote where their senses tell them, Joe.
Mhm.
Right? They vote where their senses tell them. Now, I do want to give out because Joe did go do the effort. Here is his. This is from Ballotopia, right? This is
Yeah, we're gonna start
another
using that
description.
from Bellotopia. I like them better.
Yeah, this is a good map to
Mhm.
identify. This is the new district, by the way. This
Mhm.
is the way it's going to look. They do have in the new district. They do have 3 counties that are participating, and I think that's 3. Yeah, 3 counties.
We say
Um,
Ballotopia, it's Ballotopedia.
Ballotpedia. I apologize.
Ballotopia. That
Yeah,
sounds like some native country. I said
yeah,
it too.
no.
Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
no, but so the message here, and the message for I think this chart we didn't show this chart yet, Joe.
Votes cast. So yeah, compare the chart we just saw versus this.
Yeah,
How many the Dems are double the amount of Republicans, but when votes cast, look how close the Republicans came.
yeah. Here, I'll put that one back up. You can
Yeah.
see. There you go.
Yeah, that's how many registered Democrats versus Republicans. And this, you know what this is also shooting to hell? The theory that
What's that?
the assumption the Democrats make by doing their big roundups where they get every drooling lunatic to register a vote.
Yep.
And then they say, okay, we got all these people registered, so we should win the election, right? Because they just assume they're going to vote Democrat, or they're going to, fill in their ballots form and mail it in during the election period.
Yep.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be true. That doesn't
No,
necessarily have to be true.
and Joe, we've been doing some research. One of the things that we hope to do is to help candidates when it
Mhm,
comes to election time, when it comes to
mhm,
getting their message out. We've been working on strategies to come up to help out these candidates, and so I mean that's something that we plan on doing and
mhm.
plan on working on deeper and getting a deeper dive on. So I think that's something we should definitely mention as well. Um, Now, moving, do you have you said everything you need to say about the 21 election? Do we move on to 23 now?
Yeah. We're gonna now. Let's move on and show what we think it would look like with with the redistricting in play.
Now, overall, the 23 race
Mhm,
is a much better race for Republicans. Here is the data for it, and you can see as we look at the assembly races, there is in the Senate the difference goes from 6,000 in 21 to 2,600 in the 23 race. So the difference is still the Democrat is still winning.
mhm,
If and again, the way we got these was we took the 21 numbers for these towns and we plugged them in as if the 21 race was run in 23 with the new map.
mhm.
So this is guesswork on some level, but in order to make your assessments, you have to start somewhere, and this is where we're
It
starting.
looks good in the Republican favor, and
Yeah,
imagine if they had funding with the redistricting working in their favor.
right.
Imagine how they are going to do. They could
Yeah.
probably win this.
So for the assembly, it's harder for one, easier for the other. The race goes down to 3,113 for the assembly, for the closest in the assembly. and then 4,683 for the other assembly candidates. So, having said that, we're still looking at a district in which the numbers can be very impactful money wise. We're still looking at, if you do the math, at 10 cents a vote, and all you need is 3,000 votes. You're looking at 3,000. Was that $30,000, and you have an assembly seat. Assuming all numbers are the same, and that's the way it actually works, which it doesn't. But you can see how much just a little bit of money goes a long way
Yeah.
for this race.
If the New Jersey GOP does not jump in this district for the next for the upcoming election, then this is gross negligence in my view. This is incompetency and gross negligence. There is an opportunity here to take this district. All they have to do is fund it, and with candidates that can just simply beat the pavement, because I actually tracked this race when it was going on, and for them to have just a few bucks in their pocket to message or have some better mailers and have some media,
yeah,
we can take a major Democrat district from.
I'm going to correct you on one thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is another district that we've discovered that can be taken back from.
Yeah, we're seeing a pattern.
Yeah.
We're seeing a pattern.
Yep.
We're seeing a pattern here. And I'm not on the inside of the state New Jersey GOP. I don't know what goes on. Yeah, we don't know what goes on inside their minds. But I mean, they put all their effort into just a few places that are already solid Republican areas.
Yep.
And that seems like all they care about. And we're not doing brain surgery here. We're not doing rocket science. I mean, we're not calculating the rotation of the Earth. All we're doing here is basically just showing what the numbers say.
Yeah.
And the money versus the support for candidates. And I wouldn't even say money, just support for candidates. Yeah. The support for candidates is like here. Their candidates are performing at a very high level. And the Dems are throwing huge amounts of money and still not having a marked advantage in areas where a lot of people register Democrat. I mean, this is. I mean, I think Forrest Gump here would say, stupid as a stupid does.
Yep. No, and I'm going to tell you, there's no reason why this district should stay Democrat. Mm-hmm. We can at least peel off, at the very, very least, you can at least peel off the Senate seat. You should be able to at least peel off one of the assembly seats. Mm-hmm. That is well within doing. And if, with the right amount of money, you could probably get all three.
Oh.
And what is the right amount of money? Well, let's talk. That's when we start talking the details. That's when we start looking into how many mailers, when you do the mailers, where you send the mailers. That's all the different data points that we have to put, that we will put
together. We could help them big time. We could help them by strategizing the actual demographics in the townships and what messages need to be sent to these groups. And then the people who register to vote but don't vote. I mean, we know who those people are. There are apps. I have an app on my phone right now from when I worked on a campaign down in Virginia that will actually tell you where Republicans live that don't normally go and vote. And you just go knock on their door and say, hey, you guys going to vote this time? Why don't you vote for our new guy for governor?
And Joe, I'm going to tell you, there's something to a responsibility on the state level, on the county level too, because there's 3 counties involved here: Camden,
what are their counties
Rochester,
doing?
and Atlanta.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I didn't. I think you and I are going to do a different show on just the county GOPs.
We are. Oh yeah. After we do the LDs, we're going to go county by county. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a very telling of where they're spending their money, how they're spending their money, if they're getting any money. And, there's things that need to be changed. Leadership, and to be blunt, leadership in the counties and in the state. If you're not raising money, then you need to get somebody in there who will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bottom line, because you cannot, I mean, we're talking about these races being able to win, but they require money. And if you're the state guy, your job is to be blunt, your job is to get Republicans in the assembly, not to get Republicans in Congress. Get my point?
Yeah.
Get Republicans in the governor's mansion, get Republicans in the assembly and the Senate seats in the state of New Jersey. not the Senate. And I mean, we can get those later. We'll get those later. Let's clean the House up first.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the House.
Mm-hmm.
I mean our House, not the House of Representatives. I
Mm-hmm.
mean our House, the State Assembly, the State Senate, and the Governor's Mansion, and our towns and our cities. Let's get our state of New Jersey back on track
Mm-hmm.
and away from this leftist Looney Tunes
Well, and then
hour.
they can raise money. I mean, we've seen Democrat finances already, where the Dems are bringing in money from all over the country.
Yeah.
Uh, from what we've seen from Republican finances, and I mean, we haven't done all the legislative districts yet. We've only done a fraction of them. But what
Yep.
we've seen so far is that the money from these candidates is coming from like mom and dad, buddies, friends. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, do we have a Republican Party in New Jersey or not? This is ridiculous, and it would be so intuitive to just pick a few districts and try to flip them and try to win them.
Mhm.
Yeah, but enough ranting about that. I mean, the numbers and the money spent, it shows it. But look at these Democrat candidates. And the other thing is, analyze your opponent, analyze your enemy. Turn the map around, as we used to say at Quantico, turn the map around and look at it from the enemy's point of view.
Yep.
I'm the Democrats. I am spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to almost get beat by the that's like the army with tanks is getting beat by the tribe with bow and arrows. If that's what you're doing something wrong. They don't
Mhm.
see it that way. They're pumping up the resourcing of these elections because they're paying themselves from their campaigns.
Yeah.
So they're loving the fact that they're pissing away all this money and getting such a little return. And then they say, victory, we still held the district. Yeah, but not by what you should have. And yet, where's the larger DNC coming down on them and asking them about fiscal control, etc.? They're not. They're not because, like we said before, Jim, the Democrats, politics is their business. To the
Yeah.
Republicans, politics is a hobby of people who are in business.
Yeah. No, and I think if I remember correctly, two of these three people for the Democrats,
Yeah.
um, I think that they all said that or three of them said that they were legislators. They said that they were legislators. They didn't have a job.
Mm.
They didn't have a job. They said that they were
They're all
legislators.
professional politicians like Obama. Let the
Yeah.
professional politicians handle it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and that's yeah, it's a great point, and it's a really great point about this. Is
Yeah.
that not only are they're in office, they are currently incumbents, needing to spend all this money to win by a small margin.
Yeah. So Madden says that he's a legislator. Moriarty is a media consultant.
Ah, yeah. So we know what that means. We know what that means. That
Yeah,
means
tell me,
he's an
Joe. Tell
operative
me.
for the Democrat Party. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and Mascara is a legislator.
Mm.
So they have. That's somebody else who doesn't have a full time job.
Yeah, I've seen this all over the country. The Democrats have spent the last 3 to 4 decades building and grooming professional politician types and
Yep.
to then run for office and then fund them very well. This has been a very long-term strategy. Got to give them credit. This
Yeah.
has been a very effective long-term strategy. I lived in one part of the country where they actually had a school for civics. It was run by the widow of an ex-Democrat party boss, and you'd pay a lot of money for the school for civics. But upon graduation, you got a local government job. And then you got supported to either work on or run in a local government office, and that's what they've done. They've taken over local government. Well, where were we running around worrying about who's going to be a congressman and still losing in New Jersey? We have the Democrats actually taking off small office, picking off little local office by local office by local office.
Yeah, and I think the other part of the in a broader strategic, if you really want to help the United States and getting us, getting senators in there and congressmen in there, the best model to do that is take back the state because New Jersey, as a funding powerhouse, can help raise money and get votes and get stuff passed because we're in the middle of the biggest economic market in the world between Boston and Washington. It is the largest. We're dead center in the middle of it. And I
Jim,
think,
I have spoken with C-suite people and hedge fund leaders
mhm,
who have said, Joe, how can I donate money to Republicans and not get found out?
yeah,
Because the second I donate, I got the unions calling me. I have other business people calling. I get pressure from the financial world and the unions like you wouldn't believe. I've
yeah.
had people say that to me. That's the problem. And the Dems have done that. They scare away people from donating to the Republicans. We need
And if we
Republicans
take,
with balls.
yeah, if we take back the state, we'll be
Mhm.
proving the example that you should be supporting Republicans as well. I mean, this
Well,
should not be a Democrat state.
and then we're going to talk strategy. We're going to do a lot more as we
Hmm.
build what we're building here, Jim. As you know, as we've talked about. But one of the things we got to do is determine the policies that the Republicans need to implement when they take it back, because you can't coexist with a subversive element that just believes only in one way of operating, which is basically a scheme of subterfuge. Very good politics, but a scheme of subterfuge. So a
Yeah,
lot has to be done to re-engineer a lot of these organizations that are not bipartisan. Bipartisan means Democrat. I don't. When I hear the word bipartisan, I think, okay, they're Democrats.
yeah,
And my belief, the Democrat Party is utterly a Marxist party, a communist party at this point. They're the Bolsheviks, but they just don't have the teeth. They're just not dangerous. All they do is meddle up the bureaucracies and take food out of our mouths and create chaos and disorder in the nation. The
mm,
Republicans need to be re-engineering a lot of the structural systems in New Jersey. Everything from schools to unions to bureaucracies to the relationships with business and industry. Because if they don't re-engineer, it's engineered specifically to support the Democrat Party. That's got to change.
yeah, Joe. I think the last point I want to make on the 2023 map is,
Mhm.
you showed that chart, but we showed that chart before with the number of this chart here.
Mhm.
To give a comparison, the new chart has about the same number of Democrats. It's about 1,000 less actually,
Mhm.
but the number of Republicans jumps
Mhm.
6,000,
Oh yeah, yeah. They're
and
doing. Oh yeah, they got a
and
great chance to take it in 2020 in
yeah,
the next year. Yeah.
and the number of independents goes down 4,000. So I
Mhm.
think, not only is there just by the numbers that we showed you on the vote, but there's also opportunity in those votes that, where you can get votes and where you can dig them up, or if you're a Democrat, you would dig them up, right? Because you go to the cemetery and get the votes that way. But but
Or
but
go
we
go
mean
to the
we mean
insane asylum with the person who's
yeah,
catatonic. And,
right,
yeah,
right. Or yeah, but we mean actually getting the votes, people to go out and vote and do
yeah.
the right
We're
thing.
real life people who are aware of what's
Yes,
going on around them. Yeah.
yes, and agree with you. So they're not just doing it because they got paid either.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Here's $50. Go.
yeah, here's $50. Go vote for the Democrat. It doesn't matter
Oh
who it
man.
is. Just
Mhm.
the one that's got the blue number next to him. All right, Joe. Any final thoughts on this district?
No, we're gonna get one of the candidates who ran. I'm trying to engage them, and we'll have another video where we'll try to get one or maybe two of the candidates on, and they can address these numbers and talk
Yeah,
about how they ran their campaign. And
yeah,
then once we're done with the legislative districts and the counties, we're gonna go start doing candidate profiles, and we're
yeah.
gonna start profiling candidates and talk about stable building and talking about what kind of candidates we've seen are successful and what kind
Yeah.
of candidates fall on their face.
I think Joe also say this is our seventh video that we've done of the legislative districts. If you count the one we did with Frank, then there's eight.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done 8 total videos on the subjects of these districts. We've covered a number of them. So 7 districts where we're closing in on one quarter.
Yeah, we got 33 more to go.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Everybody, climb to glory and Ballistic Patriot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for now. We'll see you next time.
That's that.